You see, everywhere you go, Indians are always been there. Okay, even you go to Antarctica also, we have Indians sitting over there and doing some XYZ activity. Okay, end of the day, it's a survival of the fittest. So what happens is that, okay, because if a person is really experienced, okay, and looking at way you are trying to execute the command, looking at the way you are trying to present yourself, we can make easily a conclusion that whether you have got a real time or the fake. So when you start working as a WebSphere admin, keeping up around 5+ years of experience, okay, some people will be there trying to dominate you. So you have to resist them. So for initial test, you need to have a job support. So when you're trying to choose a particular training, be it WebLaunch, be it WebSphere, be it JBoss or Tomcat or Portal, anything it might be. It might be even Java also. Okay, you need to ensure that you have someone to support you in the background, from the job market point of view, from the support point of view, because you are taking the WebSphere application server training, awesome training. Okay, I gave you awesome practice you did, but after you go, okay, there should be someone to market you. Okay, if it's in India, we can go with a Monster or Naukri.com. If it's US, we can upload it. In case if you have a green card and everything, we can upload it in the dice.com and we can get the calls. But in most of you people are based out in either in US or in the Singapore. In both the countries, the market is driven by the consultancy people. So you need to find out a better one who can market you. Okay, so those are the two reasons why I asked this question. Okay, without wasting much of your time. Okay, let me get on with my demo. Okay, and before I start the demo, let me give a brief introduction about myself. As I said, my name is Shiva. I basically started myself as a Java JDW developer. I worked as a developer for around 1 to 1.5 years, and because of few personal reasons and professional reasons, okay, I had a plan to look out for a change, and I was being taken up by this company called as an BEA, which is right now called as an Oracle BEA, where I was trained by them and started working as a product support engineer on the WebLogic server. But when I was learning and doing the product support on the WebLogic, there was WebSphere application server also, which was booming up the market. Like how we have a JBoss and a Tomcat right now, okay? Similarly was the JBoss at that time. So I did a self-learning on the WebSphere and started myself working as an WebLogic WebSphere administrator. I started myself projecting as an middleware admin. So from past 7.5 years, okay, dedicatedly, I'm working into the middleware as an, right now I'm currently working as an infrastructure lead or a solution designer, or you can say to some extent an architect, where I work on WebLogic, WebSphere, JBoss, Tomcat as a primary skill. As a secondary skill, I work on the portal and the MQ. And about my training experience, I got into the online trainings around 5 years back. Okay. Initially, before that, I was doing an in-person training. But as I said, I was working more into the infrastructure or in the middleware. My role was demanding for me to travel a lot. So because of that reason, I didn't feel comfortable doing an in-person training because it was giving a lot of breaks, and I got into the online trainings. And from past 5 years, I started getting into the online trainings. I trained the people on WebLogic, WebSphere, JBoss, and roughly from around 1 year, even on the Tomcat also. Okay. Anyone any questions about my experience or my anything related to my professional? Okay, cool. Silence, I'll take it as a no. Let me get on with my demo. Okay. Generally, as part of my demo, I generally don't talk anything related to technical things. Okay. I don't want to trouble you people on the day one itself saying, hey, this. Okay. I don't want to introduce all the WebSphere jargons into the demo. Okay. As part of my demo, I generally walk you through about how would be our training going on, what would be doing as part of our WebSphere application server training. Okay. What are the course contents we will be doing. Okay. When I'm saying about course contents, okay, I'll walk you through certain topics or the agenda of the training, okay, or the course contents of the training, but I'm completely flexible with the course content. Okay. If you see a particular topic is there which you already know, and if you don't want to attend that session, and if you want to take out that particular topic, if everyone is okay, we can delete that particular topic. Similarly, a particular topic is of your interest, okay, and that is not being included and that you feel is really important for every one of us, then you can let me know, or SVR, okay. According to that, we'll try to put that particular topic also into the course content, okay, so that everyone will get benefited. Okay, because I generally do a market analysis for every 8 to 10 months. Okay, so with that experience, I have prepared this particular course content. Okay, which should be suitable ideally for people of around 5 years of experience. Okay, and let me know if you want any changes into the course content. Okay, so before that, let me get on with the topics or the course content. But anyone, any questions before I start the overview about the topics or the course content? Okay, silence. I'll assume it's the, no questions from anyone. Okay. So as part of my training, generally I start my training from the basics. Okay. When I'm saying basics of WebSphere application server, our first, okay, the first thing we have to do is that we have to understand the term called as an application server. Okay. WebSphere application server basics. Okay. We have to first of all understand what is meant by the term application server. So our first slide is nothing but introduction to the term application server. What is meant by the term application server? How does the application server came into the market? What is a web server? A difference between the web server and application server. What is meant by the WebSphere application server? Architecture of WebSphere application server. Once we have some introduction, once we introduce ourselves to the WebSphere application server, slowly we'll start stepping into the WebSphere application server. How we do that? We understand the terminology. We understand the topology. We try to get ourselves acquainted and understand what exactly is meant by the term cell, node, server, and the flavors of WebSphere application server. Once we introduce ourselves to the flavors and the terminology and the topology, then we'll understand the WebSphere. Okay, I bought a new Apple iPhone 5C. Okay, I have a plan to buy that particular phone. Okay, what do? I immediately will not go and buy the product. I'll try to do the reviews on the internet. I go to the Apple store and see the features and how is the movement and how is the comfort on that particular phone. Once everything is comfortable, once everything is good, then only I'll try to buy the iPhone. Similarly, I got a VLC player. Someone says that it's an awesome player to watch the videos. We immediately will not go and buy it. We'll try to install that particular software. We'll test that particular software. If we like it, then we'll buy it. Similarly, whenever you want to understand WebSphere application server, it's very important that you understand from the installation point of view. You first install the product, okay, then try to understand that. So in the slide called as an understanding of the WebSphere application server, we'll try to understand, okay, how do we install the WebSphere? Because to understand any product, we have to first of all install that particular product. So in the slide called as an understanding of WebSphere application server, we try to understand what are the different ways of installing the WebSphere. Okay, how do I create a profile? What are the different ways of creating a profile? And what is meant by the concept of federation? Once we thoroughly understand the WebSphere application server and the concepts related to that, we'll slowly start understanding the system administration. Okay, we'll try to understand the directory structures. We try to understand the important files. We try to understand the part of the profile and the concepts inside the profile directory structure. We get an overview about the admin console, the roles and responsibility, the user groups. Once we thoroughly understand the system administration, then we'll talk about the system management commands. What is the system management commands? Very simple. I'm driving my car, okay, to my office. Okay, suddenly there was a tire puncture. Okay, in India you can park your car anywhere, even in the middle of the road also, no problem. But generally in the other countries, we take our car to the left hand side or the depending upon the countries policies, left hand driving or right hand driving. Okay, we park our vehicle on the left hand side. Okay, and what we do, we try to open our toolkit and we try to ensure that we try to resolve that particular puncture problem. Okay, so for that what we use, we need an toolkit, we need an gas cylinder, so that after we are done with the function, okay, we can fill in the gas, okay, and we can use it. Okay, similarly you are working with the WebSphere. While working with the WebSphere application server, you had some problem. Okay, you want to debug that particular problem, you want to resolve that particular problem. Like how we have a toolkit to replace my punctured tire, okay, with a backup. Similarly, when I'm working with the WebSphere application server to resolve any of the issues, to debug any of the issues, they are some handy system management commands. These are the one which will helpful for us, okay, to do an efficient debugging or to do an efficient resolution of the problem. So in this slide, I have given few commands, but there are a couple of more extra commands which we'll be talking when we are trying to talk about the system management commands. Once we are thoroughly done talking about the system management, we'll then talk about interaction with the WebSphere. What is this interaction? You want to come for a training. Okay, you chosen the online training. Online training can be done with a Skype and a TeamViewer. It can be done with a GoToMeeting. It can be done with a WebEx, or it can be done with a virtual classroom. Okay. Similarly, when you want to interact with the WebSphere for doing a deployments, for cluster creation, for anything it might be, to implement any of the features of the WebSphere, you want to talk to the WebSphere. How you can talk? You can talk with using a GUI tool called as an admin console. We can talk with the WebSphere application server scripting tool. We can talk with the custom Java client. In the slide called as an interaction with the WebSphere, we'll talk about these three things in detail. Anyone, any questions till here? Till here. We've got a couple of more slides. Okay. But till here, anyone, any questions?
Yeah, but just the last one with this
Mehboob, I'm really sorry, I wasn't able to hear you. Can I request you to repeat?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I say, like you just said the last about the tools, how we can debug that the problems and the issue once we have installation and stuff. I just want to get more clear about that.
Okay. Let me try to paraphrase my understanding. You're saying that in the previous slide I talked about the system management commands. Okay. So you want some more extra information about that. Am I correct?
Correct.
Okay, perfect. See, actually, let's say that, okay, you're working with the WebSphere application server 5.x. Okay. Ideally, IBM has said that yes, we stop the support to the IBM WebSphere 5.x or 6.x. You need to migrate to the minimum of 7.x. You want to migrate. Okay, but how do I do the migration? Okay, what are the things I have to take a backup? Okay, whenever someone is saying that take a backup, we generally have a typical tendency of zipping that particular file or tarring that particular file. But IBM says that, okay, just use a command called as backup config.sh. When you run that particular command, it will take up each and every backup of the configuration information of your profile without you doing any extra activity. Because when we manually try to do it, there might be a chance for us to make a mistake. Okay, so what the IBM says is that use the command called as backup config. It will do all the necessary steps, okay, without you need to worry about how to do that. That's a system management command because it is helping me out in trying to work, okay, with my WebSphere. Okay, I had some issue. I got stumped up. I'm not able to understand how to do that. So with the help of the backup config.sh command, I'm able to, okay, resolve that particular issue. Like that, whenever you're trying to interact with the WebSphere, for any reason it might be upgrade, it might be deployment, it might be the installation, it might be the profile creation, anything. It might be even the run and maintenance also. For any reason, for anything and everything, when you're interacting with the WebSphere application server, WebSphere application server says that use the system management commands depending upon your requirement, pick up any of the command suiting to your requirement and use that. It will help you. Okay, you have got your tire punctured. You can take it to the puncture shop and get your tire replaced. Okay, you can get it done, or you can do it with the help of the toolkit. Okay, by yourself. If you want to go till the puncture shop, you need to know where is that particular puncture shop is present, and you need to ensure that your is there on the same lane where you are trying to travel, like that. Little bit of hiccups is there. But if you have a toolkit and if you know how to replace your tire, it's very easy. 5 to 10 minutes of job. Exactly the same here also. Clear?
Yeah, clear. Okay.
So after we are done discussing about the interaction with the WebSphere application server, we'll then talk about the deployments. What is this deployment? Very important. The reason why I'm saying very important is because not that it is very difficult to understand. This is the one you'll be doing at least minimum to minimum twice in every week. But believe it or not, it is one of the easiest work you can do as a WebSphere admin. If you do it once, rest all the other time it is very easy. Okay? So in the slide called as a deployment, we'll talk about what is the deployment, how we do the deployment, what are the packaging systems I can use to deploy my application inside the WebSphere application server. Once I'm done talking about the deployments, we'll then talk about the clusters. What is this clusters? How I can understand the clusters? Clusters are the one which will ensure that your environment is 24/7 available. What do I mean by that? Simple example. Okay, I have a lot of my friends, okay, in my facebook.com. So I open the facebook.com early in the morning before I start my daily exercise at around 6:30, 6 o'clock. I go to the office at around 9:30 and at 10 o'clock I open my facebook.com. I have my lunch in my office at around 2:30 to 3 o'clock. I open my facebook.com. Okay, I reach my home at around 6:30, 7 o'clock. I open my facebook.com. In the midnight before going to the bed, I open the facebook.com. 24/7, whenever I'm opening the facebook.com site, never I get a pop saying that, hey guys, the site is under maintenance, please reach us after some time. 24/7 the site is available. How it is possible? It is possible through the clusters. So in the slide colors and clusters, we'll talk about what is a cluster, how I can create a cluster, what are the types of clusters, advantages of the clusters. All these advantages are technically implemented. We'll talk each and everything related to the cluster in the slide colors and clusters in WebSphere application server. Once we are done talking about the clusters, we'll then talk about web servers. What do I mean by web server? Generally, typically with any of the Indian sites like airindia.com or bsnl.com or the irctc.com, you see an exception saying that page not found, bad request, file not found. Okay, these are the general exceptions, okay, that are seen in a typical Indian sites, which are primarily because of the web servers. So in the slide called as an understanding of the web servers, we'll try to understand these HTTP error codes. We'll try to understand how do we install and work with the web servers and the plugin. What is meant by dynamic URL architecture? How do I configure the web servers? And how do I relate that one with the WebSphere application server for any of the debugging? Once we thoroughly understand the debugging and the web servers related concept, we'll then talk about performance tuning. Performance tuning is the one that will ensure that your system will be highly stable. Okay, if you go back to your childhood days, okay, our father says that, okay, don't go out after 7 o'clock. Okay, do this, study for this number of hours. He'll put as a tuition. Okay, why they try to take care much about us? The reason is that, okay, they put, it might be a lot of strain for us, but end of the day, okay, since they're keeping a track of you, since they're trying to understand how well you can perform, so that you will have a brighter career. Okay, your stabilization will be high. Okay, similarly, if you see the performance tuning also exactly the same. We try to put a lot of performance tuning techniques so that our environments are highly stable. 24/7 the servers are available. So in the slide called as the performance tuning of WebSphere application server, we'll talk about what are those performance tuning techniques. How as a WebSphere application server admin, okay, which are the layers I'll be doing the performance tuning. Once we are done performance tuning, we'll come to the last slide of our training, wherein which I'll share some documentation related to the WebSphere application server version related thing. Once that is done, sharing the differences, I'll talk about the troubleshooting. As part of the troubleshooting, you can come up with any of the two issues of your convenience, or I'll pick up any of the issue of my convenience, which might be a server hang, which might be a server crash or anything, and I'll try to explain you when you see an issue, how should be a troubleshooting steps initiated. Okay, what are the layers from which you have to start doing the debugging? Anyone, any questions still here?
Sure, Vishnu Pranab. I have, it's not a question, but I'm just explaining my my working condition right now, because I can see your course content, includes or started from the very beginning to the standard issue miscellaneous. That's fine. My worries are like, I'm working in a real-time environment where I will not get a chance to install WebSphere.
Okay.
So if I have to understand the current setup, I have to I have to understand the existing architecture. Okay. Then how, and you suggest me, like, how can I understand the current setup, and according to that, how can I can troubleshoot if something comes up, or how to correlate this whole session, whole course into that real situation. So something like if you can give me during the course or after the session or some,
Yeah, I
it will be helpful
understand
for me.
yeah, I understand your
Because
concern
every time
completely.
a person cannot get an opportunity to do a scratch implementation, that is
Yeah, yeah.
very rare scenario. Because I also work uh, at some places where I did a scratch implementation, but right now currently I am working in a place where I will not have any chance to do a scratch implementation.
Okay.
So there,
You
those
know the
are the
reason
very
why
sorry.
people don't do that installation from the scratch very frequently? The reason is that, okay, on a random maintenance, if I'm charging you $40 per ticket, okay, for the installation,
Mhm.
I'll charge you per hour $100. I'm not sure if
Okay.
any of you have been there in any of the this budget or the sizing and the
No,
capacity
no, no.
management.
Those things I am not aware. That's why, I mean,
Okay.
for me, I mean, from a project perspective also, let's say you are in a maintenance project, not an implementation project, then you will never have a chance to implement. You
No
will have
problem.
a
No.
chance only to, support or maintain the issues which are coming in.
Okay, no problem, friend. Actually, for your question, answering your question, okay, see, what I will do is that once we are done talking about till the web servers, okay, you can share me your architecture if you are okay with that, okay. No need to mention any of the gray information related to your private information related to the
Mm-hmm.
zones and etc.
Mm-hmm.
So that it will be beneficial to every one of them. What I'll do is
Mm-hmm.
that based upon that architecture, I'll explain you first about how do we do the installation. Someone give me an architecture, how do I do the installation? Point
Mm-hmm.
number one. Point number two, okay, we also need to understand how does the request and the response flow happening up, okay, in that particular
Yeah.
architecture, so that someone says that, hey, him and have this issue, how do I work on that? Okay,
Okay.
so I'll even
Okay.
explain you about the control flow. How should we understand the architecture? Okay, when
Mm-hmm.
request is coming and hitting, how does the request is flowing out in my architecture to generate a response? I'll explain you. So that what you
Mm-hmm.
can do is that you can understand both of them, and you can, depending upon the issue that is being seen down the line in your environment, you can do the
Mm-hmm.
troubleshooting. Would that be okay with
Okay.
you?
Yeah, fine.
Okay, perfect. So anyone, any more questions before I talk about the next other few things related to my training? Mehboob or Malik, do you have any question? Malik, is it your name is Malik or Malikarjuna?
Mallikarjun.
Okay, Malikarjuna. Okay. So because that's what people said Malik, so I thought let me paraphrase.
Mallikarjun. So, no questions. You can go ahead.
Perfect. So this is about the course contents or the training agenda we'll have. Apart from this, okay, I'll also share with you all people the WebSphere application server version 7.0 network deployment, okay, on a Linux operating system, because all of the lab and exercises will be doing it on the Red Hat Linux operating system. So if you have the software and everything, it's okay. Otherwise, okay, we'll share with you the software and the WebSphere version. You can use that and you can try to do the installation and do the lab, okay, while I'm trying to show you the lab, or after we are done with the session, we can do that. It doesn't have any expiry, it doesn't have any limitation. You can use it for lifetime, okay. That's about point number one. Point number two, I'll also share the soft copy of the materials either in the form of a link or either in the form of a PDF, okay, which you can use it, okay, and work as a guide, okay, that will work as a guide. It will not contain each and every letter I'm trying to discuss as part of my training, okay. So what I would request is that you take that particular PDF or the soft copy of the material, as well as anywhere if you see that a particular point is very important for you, you can make a record of that, okay. You can try to put it in a running notes or whichever way is convenient for you, okay. Point number three, okay, related to the assignments, okay. If every one of you are okay, because generally I try to do the assignment kind of a stuff for the people, OPT people or the people applying for the job. Since you're already working, okay, since you already, all of you have a hardcore experience in the real time, if everyone is okay, I'll share with you all an assignments, okay, which will contain the questions related to the direct questions about what we discussed in the session, as well as some Unix questions, as well as some example or the scenario based questions, if everyone is okay. Okay, that's an option for you to use. The last important point is that I always try to highlight and always I try to stress is that 99.99%, if you're not available or if I'm not available, I try to give an advance notice, very well advance notice. but sometimes I'm presently living in Hyderabad. Okay, so because of any unavoidable situation, okay, like the power cut or anything, okay, which are very minimal to happen, I try to give a short notice. Okay, I try to give a short call. Please excuse me for that. Okay, 99.9% it will not happen because I basically work on 3 projects. So sometimes on a very rare scenario, I might need to go on for an ad hoc call with the client. So for that reason, I might need to call up a session abruptly. I'm going to say with a short notice, I might need to cancel a session. I'll try to avoid those things to the maximum extent possible, but sometimes I might not be able to avoid that. So you need to excuse me for that. Okay, anyone, any more questions?
No question.
Silence means it's 2 reasons. Everything is clear or everything is all clear. I hope the first one is correct. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah, if it's all clear, please let me know. Again, I'll run through that half an hour to 40 minutes of demo with that. Okay, so if everyone is clear, you can update the feedback to the SVR people. Sai, you're there in the call? Sai, you're there in the call?
Hello?
Sai,
Hello.
you're there
Yes,
in the
sir.
call?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am in the call, sir.
I'm done.